Hi there, Steve Kaufman here. Today I want to talk about how to make it easier to learn languages. Before I do that though, I want to say thank you very much to everyone who sent me birthday greetings. Yesterday was my 74th birthday. I tried to reply to all the people on Facebook and LinkedIn and Messenger, and I don't know where they all come from, but hopefully I got everyone. Maybe I didn't. Thank you very much. And I want to talk about a person called Kato Lom, or Lom Kato, who is a Hungarian polyglot, very famous lady who lived in the 19th and 20th centuries, who mastered, 15, 20 languages, mostly through reading on her own, long before we had all of the wonderful tools that are available for us today. And she had a formula, which I will show you now. And basically it said that the result or the success in language learning depends on the invested time, which I would call time spent with the language, times motivation, all divided by inhibition. And I'm going to talk about that today and how we can juice up that formula to our advantage by finding ways to make it easier to learn. Now, first of all, language learning is about learning or about acquisition. It's not about teaching. You cannot teach someone who isn't motivated, doesn't spend the time, and feels a lot of inhibition and frustration and resistance. So, in effect, whether you're in a school or whether you're on your own, you're still a learner, so that it's the learning, the factors that influence learning that matter, affect the success of the teacher as well as, the success of the learner is the success of the teacher. So, first of all, motivation includes your interest in the language, the confidence that you can succeed, whether you like the way you're learning. All of these things affect motivation. Time is very simple, but it's time with the language. So time spent reading in English about the language, sitting in a classroom where people are speaking English to explain the language, that really doesn't count. It has to be time, or at least it has to be discounted. What matters is the time you spend with the language. And then what Kato Lom refers to as inhibition, I would add the word resistance, frustration, intimidation, all of the negative things that reduce the effectiveness of what should be this powerful motivation multiplied by time that's basically enabling your brain to learn. So, because motivation can, flag at times, there's all kinds of things that can affect our motivation. Motivation also affects the time we have available, because if we're not very motivated, we say we have no time. If we're very motivated, we find time. So there's kind of an interaction there. Also, with the sort of divided by the denominator, the sort of brakes on our achievements in language learning, I think if you can find ways to do things more easily, that's going to increase your motivation. That's going to make it more likely for you to spend time, and it's going to reduce the sort of resistance. So in my language learning, I look for things that make it easier for me. First of all, my major learning activity is listening, because listening is easy to do. I don't have to get up in the morning and say, I'm going to study my declension table, all right? I'm going to do drills to see if I remember my case endings in Russian. All of that is negative, builds up fear, inhibition, frustration, because we don't like to make mistakes. So I don't set myself up to make mistakes. I listen. And as an experienced language learner, I am comfortable with ambiguity, with not fully understanding. Therefore, my listening is enjoyable, even if there are parts that I don't understand. Now, also to make it easier, I find it very useful to use the Listen to Course audio feature in Link, which I'll show you how it looks here on the iPad. On the browser version, it's off to the right of the screen. You'll see a little button there. You click on it and you get the full list of lessons in the course. So here, for example, on the iPad, and it would be the same in Android or in iOS, you see the list of lessons. So that enables me to go in there. I just listen to course audio. I take it with me as I go off in the car, and I start it wherever I want. I can start it at lesson 1, or I can start it at lesson 30, and then it'll just keep on going through the course. I can set it for shuffle, or I can set it for, sequential listening. Very easy. I don't have to deliberately save things to a playlist in order to have them available for listening. It's a little thing, but to me, it's very powerful. It makes it easier. Another thing that I find makes it easier and reduces resistance, inhibition, fear, is the ability to go through my lessons in sentence mode. Particularly languages that I don't know very well, or in the case of Persian, where we don't have text-to-speech. It's just simply not available. So I go to sentence mode. Sentence mode, you'll see it in the bottom right-hand corner on your portable device, and it's the top left-hand corner in the browser version. And you'll see there's either one line or lots of lines, and you choose to read the text either in the full text mode or in sentence mode. Sentence mode has a big advantage, and that is that in most languages, it is time-stamped to the actual audio. So in Persian, where I don't have text-to-speech, I can try and read it. I'm still struggling to read Arabic script. And then I work my way through it, trying to pronounce it correctly. And then I can just hit the audio button, and I will hear that sentence, just that sentence. And if I want to hear that sentence again, I hear it again. So this is something that makes it easier for me. I'm sure there are lots of things in the different ways that we learn that make it easier. Anything that we do to make it easier to learn, for example, in the sort of perennial debate about whether we speak from day one or don't speak from day one, because inhibition is a brake on our motivation and on the time we're willing to spend with the language, the more I am familiar with the language, the more I have listened, the bigger my vocabulary, the less inhibited I am when it comes to speaking. So that's another reason why I prefer to invest my time initially in lots of listening and reading, getting used to the language, building up vocabulary, so that when I go to speak, I am less inhibited. I have reduced the denominator there. Makes it easier for me. Making it easier. Again, finding the time is a problem. That's why anything that takes the audio easily over to a portable device so that you can then find 10 minutes here or 20 minutes there, you start to create habits. When you have habits, that makes things easier. Listening to voices that you like makes it easier. You're not inhibited. You're not put off by having to listen to things that don't interest you or where you don't like the voice. So think of that formula, and the easier you make things, the more motivated you're going to be, the more you're going to like the learning process, the more you're going to spend time, and the less resistance there's going to be. So look at ways of increasing your pleasure in learning the language. Look at ways of making it easier for you. It shouldn't be hard work. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should be as pleasant an experience as possible. And then, following Kato Lam's formula, you will achieve a better result. Okay then, that's all for today. Bye for now.